For the day, thought we take a look at Pilbara Minerals. Citi has given Pilbara the blue ribbon, saying it is operationally years ahead of its peers. Thanks to its expansion at its WA operations, the buy rating retained with a price target of $5.10. And also Pilbara put out a update today, increasing its mineral resource in WA substantially. Pilbara share price today up about 4 or 5% as we speak, so the market liked it pretty well. Daniel Ortiz, do you like it as well?
Yeah, I think Pilbara has probably been our preferred lithium stock. Certainly, it has the kind of highest pure play exposure amongst all of the producing ASX miners, other than aside from something like a Core Lithium, which is more of a recent producer. All the others do have a little bit more in terms of diversification. So, our view is that in terms of pure lithium mining, Pilbara has been the best, and we certainly agree with Citi in their comments. Operationally, these guys have done, a fantastic job. Most companies out there are dealing specifically with issues in recovery. So there has been, it's been an industry-wide issue in terms of processing the actual lithium. The hard rock into the spodumene concentrate, while these guys have maintained recoveries above 70%. Some of them have had towards 50%. So certainly been an outstanding performer. Production grew something like 30-40% this year, and will continue to grow to that 1 million ton per annum project benchmark as well. So I think these guys are extremely well placed. Everyone knows that they have a mountain of cash on the balance sheet, so we'll see what they end up deciding to do with that. And yeah, I think the comments there speak for themselves in terms of its quality here. The upgrade to the resources probably shows that Pilgangoora can be a 30 or 40 year mine life project. So very high quality company. If you're interested in lithium, this is probably our way to play it. But from our view, it's probably a bit more of a hold, just purely on valuation and the lithium price at the moment.
Yeah, because I was also reading spodumene prices have dropped substantially. Lithium bit out of favour recently, but the issue that this highlights, Daniel, is that these are early producers. They're just getting stuck into the actual value of the resource, and that's where the play is for the future, not necessarily just looking at the lithium price the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that, Koshi. And I think Pilbara has the advantage of they've actually been around for about 5 years now in operation. So they've probably been able to take upon their early, operating kind of history and be able to grow and perfect that over time. Whereas, many other companies who are getting started are probably behind the benchmark there, in terms of understanding the processing here. So like you mentioned, I think Pilbara do have a lot of advantages here. And, in terms of prices, they're still making like 90% margins, operating margins. So it's, if the prices fall in half, they're still making margins akin to the iron ore miners. So, a lot of room there for margin.
That is an interesting observation. David, and the other thing that Pilbara has shown is that they can actually deliver a mine, can't they? That is producing, whereas a lot of the explorers have great prospects, but to get a mine on stream is no easy feat. That's the next layer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly the case. And Pilbara's had a great history in doing that. They're still expanding their mine and their production facilities. So definitely the company, the CEO Dale Henderson has presented this morning at the Diggers and Dealers conference, which is probably part of the reason that we've seen the share price rise. I'm obviously not over there at Diggers and Dealers, but I read the presentation, and certainly it was a very, very positive presentation. And they're talking about a transformational year, and the fact that Pilbara is expanding their production. They've expanded or increased their production by about 64%. They're anticipating growing by another 70% over the next 2 years. And then taking that longer term view, they're talking about the fact that they're predicting globally that there will be a deficit as far as the difference between supply and demand of lithium over the next 20 years or so. So they're very well positioned as far as that's concerned. As Daniel said, they've got a significant amount of cash, about $3.3 billion of cash. And that's actually increased by 664 million in the last quarter. So they are
Wow.
definitely a leader as far as that space is concerned. So it's not a stock. We currently don't have a lithium analyst at the moment, so we don't have a formal recommendation on it. But I think that a company.
Oh, well, I think we just lost you there, David. Just as you were getting to the pointy end of the discussion. Here we go. We got you back.
Lost me.
Buy, hold, or sell?
I'd be buying it at the moment.
Right.
I think it's a good long-term business.
Okay, all right. And of course, Diggers and Dealers is the big conference in Kalgoorlie, isn't it? That they have every year between, and the Diggers are of course the mining and the mining executives and companies, and the dealers are all the investment managers and brokers that go over there.
That's right.
Would you say it's got, David, a notorious history? Diggers and Dealers?
Oh, yes, it has, definitely. I think over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of improvements, and they've been put to change those.
Yeah. It has had a history of being pretty wild at times after the conference, and when investment markets meet miners, it gets to a colourful stage. But yes,
we've got a couple of analysts over there, but I'm sure they'll be very, very well behaved.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be too.